welcome along. This is the Champagne Rugby Podcast, now brought to you by Max Raft, fitting insulated concrete slabs nationwide. The first step to a warm, comfortable, healthy home. James McOnie. Ooh, we're going to break down the Chiefs. We're going to do that right now. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off.
No, we're going to talk about better things, better days.
Thank God.
Exciting times for Jordie Barrett, who's signed a 6-month contract to go and play for Leinster. He'll go from December, so after the Northern Tour, he's going to stay this year. I think he stays up there, and then he'll play the first 6 months over there till the end of their season, which is so that May, June, when they have what they used to call the Heineken Cup.
Yeah.
I think it wraps up then. I'm still concerned about whether he's available to come back for the Canes and punish the Chiefs again in the playoffs next year. But anyway, he's going to Dublin. I've never been there. The Barrett family themselves lived in a place called Oldcastle, which is about an hour sort of north west of there, and back in 2000. So he's sort of saying, going back to catch up with some mates, but I don't know. It sounds like a good time, G Lane.
Yeah, I saw that. He's re-signed with the New Zealand Rugby Union until 28 or something.
Yeah, he's long-term.
Yeah, long-term. He's got a sabbatical in there, and I really like the fact that he's going to Ireland. He's not doing the Japanese sabbatical. He's going to go over to Ireland, and he's going to have a bloody good time because Dublin is a great place. The Irish are great people. You can get lost in Temple Bar for days in Dublin.
What's Temple Bar? Is
a place, a little area in Dublin with all the bars and everything that you just roll between bar and bar there. I mean, I backpacked around there. I hitchhiked around Ireland as a 18-year-old back in 1997.
Wow.
That was an experience because very green, and hitchhiked, started in Dublin, had a great time in Dublin, and then hitchhiked south down to Cork, down through Waterford, up through to Dingle and the Ring of Kerry, and then stupidly up through Northern Ireland. And in 97, there was still a bit of hostility up through Northern Ireland. We stayed in Derry. Don't call it Londonderry if you're around a bunch of Catholics.
Oh, right.
But don't call it Derry when you hang around a bunch of Protestants. And as a stupid Waikato 18-year-old boy, I didn't actually know the difference between a Catholic and a Protestant anyway. So it was difficult times. But then went through Belfast, had a great few days in Belfast. Good party town, Belfast. Just don't get lost, like one of my mates did, and got escorted home by a army personnel vehicle, like armoured tank area.
Holy
Found himself
shit.
lost on Falls Road in Belfast. Anyway, cut to the chase. Ireland is a great time. They're great people. I've had mates go over there when they left school to play kind of club rugby, professional club rugby. They went over there for a year, got lifelong friends. So I'm glad Jordie Barrett is throwing himself out there and doing a sabbatical in a place like Ireland, because normally the sabbatical for New Zealand rugby players is Japan, isn't it?
Well, exactly. And the other thing is, I think Razor spent a bit of time. He definitely played in Scotland, possibly played in Northern Ireland as well, as a young fella. So I think getting that past Razor would have been a lot easier. You know, like he's kind of like, you know what, this will be a great time for you. It was for me, because Razor, even though we think of him as this surfer boy who went down to Canterbury, he's got layers. He's got very Scottish layers.
Yeah.
And I think he went to Northern Ireland as well. And for those guys who are kind of like, they weren't on the conveyor belt, they were more battlers coming through, all that northern experience, northern exposure, if you like Ben Smith, his first year out of school was just as a sort of like, what you call it, a tutor.
A gap year
tutor at a school in England. And they all remember the time Ben Smith rolled up to play club rugby for them. And it's like, he's quite good, that guy from frickin' Dunedin.
Well, and Ireland are the best rugby team in the world right now. They're the best nation in the world. So why not send him over there, learn a few tricks?
They think they are.
Yeah, let's just hope that he doesn't stay there and fully Bundy Arceus and stay over there and decide to get residency. And in 2028, he's playing against us. Is that possible?
Can you do a switcheroo? The fact that he's spent 15 months of his life, he was a toddler. He was born in New Zealand, Jordie, but he was 3 or 4 when he was over there. So I'm sure the Irish, whatever consulate. But if you want to switch back, I'm not sure what the law is from World Rugby. It's to help a Tier 2 team. I don't think you can switch back to Tier I don't think you can go from tier 1 to tier 1.
You can do it, but only if you can do a stand down. Isn't it like a stupid 3-year stand down?
Yeah, he'll be ancient. Oh, well, he's still quite young.
He's still quite young. Maybe that's their long-term plan. Who knows? They're pretty conniving. They'll be over there. Although he's got a partner. Has he got a child? Has Jordie got a child? Has he got a partner?
Yes, he does.
Good.
Alice Marshall.
Good. Because
sister of Reece Marshall. Oh. So we've got super babies coming.
Oh, excellent. Well, because I would have been worried if a single Jordie Barrett was headed to Ireland, then that would have been a honey trap. That's a honey trap.
Oh, yeah.
Keep him over there, get married, have children. He's stuck there.
Jordie, would you come and be a judge for the Rules of Tralee? It's our beauty pageant. And now there's an Irish dance contest. Would you care to come along, Jordie? And all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, Jordie's there. He's a judge on X Factor.
Yeah.
It's like, we know what you're doing, Ireland.
Yeah. See, and no Kiwi guy has ever gone over to Ireland, England, Scotland, met a local girl, and come back to New Zealand. They have for about a year, and then they pull weight and go, we're going back home. And the Kiwi guy is always gone. See you later. So that's why. But he's taking his missus. He's taking his middy.
Yeah. Good
news for New Zealand rugby.
Yeah, I think the freshen up is good. The Hurricanes now will be more desperate to win this year. The one thing with I looked at all the comments on Twitter, on X, Elon Musk, and of course straight away there's some Leinster fan going, we've just found a decent 12. We're bringing.
But he can play 15.
His name's Kerry O'Connell or whatever. But it's like, yeah, he can. He can play. I think they did call him the greatest utility back in the world.
Yeah, he can play fullback. He can play centre as well.
He can.
You want
100%.
Kick goals from halfway.
Yeah, I mean, quite often the complaining of the Irish fans, it always ramps up because I remember when Brian O'Driscoll was dropped in that Lions tour and Gats of Australia back in the, I don't know, it was probably 12 years ago, and Gats dropped him for Jonathan Davies, the headgear-wearing centre.
Yes.
And that was like World War III. That was crazy, the press that came out before that third deciding test. They're going, how can you drop a legend? This is bullshit. Gatlin's a traitor. Get him off. And they won that test by 20-something points, and Jonathan Davies had a blinder.
Yeah, and Gats went stuck on that.
He did.
Didn't Gats start his coaching career in Ireland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went over there and was Irish. He was the coach of Ireland.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he came up through the ranks. And yeah.
And, then sort of went over to Wales. And it's funny, like, he just had got a big donut in the Six Nations, Gats, coaching. And as Chiefs fans, we know what it's like to have...
donuts.
Gats
donuts.
For me, Gats donuts. Owen, was it Owen 13 there for a while?
Yeah.
Owen 12? It was long, the drought. And they're giving him a total free pass, which is so nice because I actually think, you get to a point where you become a legend and you get the free pass, It's almost like, we love you, Gats. Carry on through. And
they're pulling the big development card, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're building up to the next World Cup 3 years away. It's a young squad. So he has got a massive free pass. Razor's almost got the same, I feel, in All Blacks. He's got a bit of a free pass.
I think you're right. I think he's got a free hit.
Yeah, because you've got no Kane, you got no Aaron Smith, you got Richie Mwanga's gone. You've got
Whitelock and Retallick.
Yeah, gone.
Tow's gone.
Yeah, so you've got it almost is a bit of a free hit around, come on, let's see what you can do. We only care about the World Cup in 3 years' time. You're contracted till after that.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a bit of a free hit.
I think that we are going to change the way we look at rugby as if to say, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Sledgehammer, remember that show?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. That was a great program.
Yeah.
With the big massive Colt.
Yeah. It's sort of an incompetent detective with who was it? DeRoe, his partner. She was amazing. Yeah, as a teenage boy, I was like, okay, we see what you're doing here with this sitcom. Anyway, I've lost track. But anyway, Razor, yes, I think so. But Gats, he's also got the get out of jail card of, well, they've taken my best frickin' athlete to NFL. What the fuck?
Yes.
Lewis Rees-Zammit is signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. So now I've got to go and find another one of those. Show me where one of they are in Wales. So I think that's that's quite good for Gats, actually. The more players because Alan Wynne-Jones retired, all the legends and stuff, you lose your best talent. That always builds up your argument about the rebuild, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think Razor's reached the legendary status where he'll get a free pass. But I think given the status of the game at the moment, I think he's given it. This season, he'll get a free pass.
Yeah, because England coming over is going to be quite classic. You know, our hero when we were growing up, Andrew Strawbridge, Straws.
Yep.
One-Eyed Straws is going over to be their kind of skills / I think he said it was like a ruck coach. Can you be a ruck coach?
A ruck coach.
A ruck coach. Maybe
I've never heard of. I mean, scrum. I mean, you got a scrum coach.
Maybe it's a phase play coach or something like that. It's getting more technical.
So you specialise in the second phase, like a.
And the multiple phases and what you. I think it's something like that.
I'm going to offer my services as the human centipede specialist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be
cheek to cheek, the ass to the mouth to ass centipede. Yeah. Actually, you'd be perfect at that because you would have done a few in your time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, huge rolling maul human centipede fan back in the day. Gwyn Shield, Hamilton East. It was our go-to move.
I'd be the how not to throw an intercept pass coach. I'd be like, this is my only
Harbour
Bridge, baby. Let's go Rainbow. Get it over. And then just get the tallest person in the team with a broom, just basically doing that.
Let's see how big we can make the wider coaching squad.
And but Straws is there, and the interesting thing is Straws. I mean, even though people didn't think he was a big part of the coaching group, I think he was, you know, because he came in and was probably one of the few people who could be honest with Fozzie. Your old teammate, who's a lot better rugby player than you, is one of the few people who can say that's bullshit.
Was Straws involved in the All Black setup?
Yeah, he was a skills coach. He was brought in the past year and a half, I think, or 2 years.
Oh, so he's going to try and take his IP over to England, is he?
Well, I guess what he takes over is he just knows players inside out because, you know, he was teaching a lot of players, from what I could gather, quite a few basics. Like there's players who end up in the All Blacks and they need to learn how to fend and do sidestep.
Taken up and under.
Yeah, taken. Yeah. Pass at the right time.
But England, though, just moving forward to that tour, they're not exactly looking great either. They had a pretty terrible Six Nations.
They did, but they beat Ireland.
At the very end.
But, no.
Wasn't that the last game?
No, it was second to last. They also beat, they didn't beat. They also had an absolute massive barn burner of a game, a doozy, against France. And it was a last-minute penalty. They lost that one. But if you watch the highlights of that game, I feel that there were Straws elements there.
Right.
Given that, you know, he used to run around a bit like a headless chook. He won't mind me saying. No, he wasn't headless. He was an amazing player, very gifted runner.
A lot of goosies. I remember as a youngster seeing him goose step a lot and run sideways a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Not running circles, but in those days, the equivalent of circles. If you weren't running it straight, you're a pussy.
That's right.
You looked at Strawbridge and you go, well, you trying to run away from people. Run it straight, you pussy.
But no, he was all
Wayne
goosey.
Warlow did.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Wayne Warlow's probably about 15 kgs or 20 kgs heavier than Straws.
Yeah, that's true.
But, that'll be a cool series in July. I was just going to segue into basically games that are painful to watch. Like, for example, we referenced the Rugby World Cup final there briefly. Was that... would you rewatch that? Have you rewatched Lords, for example? Have you rewatched the last 10 overs of that Cricket World Cup final 2019?
It took us a while. I haven't rewatched the Rugby World Cup final.
Okay.
I actually remember I was talking to Manaya about it this morning, actually, about how I can't quite remember it. I can't remember the details. All I can remember is the Sam Cane red card. But I can't really remember anyone who scored. I can't really remember the score, to be honest. I mean, commentating it. So I might need to rewatch that game again and put myself through it. But the Lords one, after a 1 year anniversary, I was made to sit down and watch the last 5 overs and then the 2 super overs.
Oh, my God.
And it took me right back there. And I still believed we could have won. I was going, go on, go, go. And I knew the result. And I was there with Wells and Heath, and we watched it, and it still felt like we were going to win. And I totally forgot that all of those the overthrows and everything happened in the last over. I thought for some reason when I was there, because it all blurred into one, that had happened previously.
No, we were commentating here, and I did that thing where you feel it's going to it felt like it was in the bag. Like even, but there was when did Trent stand over the boundary?
Yeah, so that was a couple of overs before, and
that was a dagger then.
Yes.
But then we got it back to a point where it would have taken some really amazing hitting. Having said that, Stokes was still out there, but that overthrows was an absolute killer.
And he would have been out too if his bat, the ball was headed straight to the stumps, and the only thing that interrupted it was the bat, and then the five was supposed to be 5, not 6, and whatever.
He knew what he was doing. He's a very coordinated man. You know when you're thinking about it. You do it in backyard cricket.
Yeah.
You see a throw coming and you go, oh.
Yeah. And he middled it. Absolutely middled it. Yeah, but even that, I rewatched that and I still thought that we were going to win, even though I knew we weren't. And then I had to watch that squirt out to square leg and the double. Oh, anyway. But I've yet to rewatch that Rugby World Cup final.
No.
Maybe on the anniversary of it, I might rewatch it again. But it's such a turgid affair.
It was turgid. I've watched the last 20 minutes. I don't really want to go into rake over the coals of that one. But all I'll say is, because I was there at the ground, thanks to News Talk ZB, commentating alongside Elliot Smith, best seats in the house, watching it, I remember getting to that point where you get out of your seat and go, it's on, because you got the wide view the whole time, and then when it didn't happen, when they didn't connect, a part of me just kept on breaking inside, so I had to go back and go, was I right to be excited? Where you go, this is, it's a try coming out. If you give it, it's a try. And I went back and yes, I was right. Well, no, I don't know if I was right, but I knew that there was
firstly,
we could have won it.
Yeah, and firstly, it did take me a while to recover from the fact you cheated on us as well. Like, I know that, we'd been going out for a while, and then you went over to France, and I know France is, it's fairly liberal in its love and its lovers. You went over there and you basically shagged ZB senseless for the entire time, and left the ACC here just, while you were smoking a cigarette next to Elliot Smith after a game. Perenara and I were back here battling away, just in the missionary position while you were making freaky love over in Paris.
Oh yeah, with Elliot, with his deeper voice. He's got a very deep voice. Also, I mean, look, I was excited to see the ACC when you're over there, but I just wanted to keep you at arm's length because by that stage I was playing with the big boys and watching your ex turn up all dishevelled and like, come over, have a drink. And I was like, oh, no. Ugh. And then, you were sort of with your DB buddies in tow with their credit card, like the way that you were just hanging around them. I was just thinking, this is just unseemly. But, of course, I did turn up for several events.
You did keep coming back.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't bring Elliot, though, did you? You left him at home.
No, I left
Elliot. Yeah, you left him at arm's length. You didn't want us to meet, did you?
Well, Elliot was in some kind of like weird situation with about 3 or 4 other NZME journalists tucked away in the worst place in Paris. I didn't understand how they chose that location.
I don't know.
Like
there was
northern Paris, sort of like
suburban.
suburban, dormitory suburb.
It was almost. I heard that they were almost involved in a human smuggling ring out there. That there was like 10 people to a room situation, and they'd got one of those rooms, and they were all just sharing accommodation. It
did feel a bit like that. It did feel like the start of one of those movies where the terrorist cell, you know what I mean, like
human trafficking
builds from there,
right?
And so in the end, I was quite and inviting. If you invite one NZME journalist, you get them all. You get your Napier, you get your Gregor Paul,
and with your Napiers, you get all sorts of hangers on as well.
Leakham Napier, I call him. After he's leaking the team list, he's going to hate me for saying it over and over again. I'm sort of becoming the bane of his life. I did introduce him to the CEO of New Zealand Rugby as Leakham Napier.
That's good though.
But it's good because that's what you want to be as a journalist, right? You want to be Leakham Napier.
Yeah, you want to be the leaker.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got good sources.
Should we take it? Are we going to take a break?
Should we take a quick break? Go for a whiz and come back. Right, Max Raft are obviously bringing you Super Rugby this season, and we've got a chance for you to win tickets to your next home game. All you have to do is text MAX, M-A-X, and your Super Rugby team to 3236 to be in to win a double pass to your team's next home match. So text MAX to 3236. 3-6, all thanks to the legends at Max Raft. The weekend's game's just gone, James.
Well, G Lane, we called it.
Yeah.
There was a hot mic situation at the end of the half. Did we ever work out what was said? Did I say that we're fucked?
Yeah, I said I took the cans off and went, oof, that didn't look good. And you went, I think we're fucked. And then I went out into the into the TV area and I just said, we're fucked.
And then Pugs, who was our producer, goes, oh, sorry, guys.
Sorry about that, guys.
He's the loveliest man in the world, so we just go, Pugs.
But it was a bit of honesty, wasn't it? Because it was half-time in that hot mic situation. And the Chiefs were doing so well to stay in that game. It was only a 3-point ball game at that stage, 17-14 or something at half-time.
Yeah, it was just the way that, was it for the first 15 minutes was spent camped down. It was literally a camp, wasn't it? They could have set up, they could have started a fire, put some tents up. It was 15 minutes down in the left-hand corner. They scored a try that was disallowed, and then they scored another. Well, they scored their first try, TJ Perenara, which meant that our bet came through.
Yes, the Radio Hauraki bet that I made, just the tip, I had Jordie Barrett, TJ, or Ruben Love to be the first try scorer.
Wow, nice.
And that was, I think it was paying $6, so we got $600 for that.
G Lane, should you be joining the Boys Get Paid as a rugby consultant? Because I get the feeling, I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to blow smoke here, but you're just a jammy bastard.
You throw so much mud at the wall, occasionally a bit of it sticks. That's all I'm going to have to say on that one.
Betting on you've bet on a couple of hookers to be the first 3 try scorers. So you went with Ricky the Rhino, Riccatelli, and Asafo Almua.
Yeah.
And seeing those come in just made you look like, I mean, my respect for you was kind of at an all-time low. And so I needed something to sort of just...
And my gambling has brought that back.
Yeah, it has. It really has.
Oh, that's good.
So we were calling the game. You could feel the Hurricanes dominating contact, which is a big worry for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good slap in the face wake-up call for the Chiefs.
But there's the Chiefs' strength. When you got people like Luke Jacobson, Akoi, you got these big units who love Samapenny Finau, Tupuvai, who love smashing into these rucks, and the fact that they got dominated by the Hurricanes is mildly terrifying.
That it does mean that the Hurricanes have got the right recipe, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them host the Super Rugby final.
Is it theirs to lose, the Super Rugby Pacific?
Yeah, I think it is, but they will be quietly not shitting their pants, but they'll be giving the side eye to the table because it's top 8, and even though the Crusaders lost in a bit of a heartbreaker in Sydney, Golden Point, they're only 10 points adrift of 8. So they're just a couple of bonus point wins away of making. And imagine the Hurricanes having to host the Crusaders because your reward is to play the eighth place team.
Oh yeah,
because you're number 1, so you get to play these Muppets. And then of course the Crusaders turn up with all their players back, Dog Roll, Fergus Burke, all their All Blacks, Cody Taylor. Just imagine them all just turning up and just saying we're ready now.
Oh my God, imagine that, the poor Hurricanes.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at the table going, because even Moana Pacifica's in the top 8.
At Fiji and Drua. Who's at number 4? The Melbourne Rebels.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
So it isn't over for the Crusaders. Don't dream it's over. Finau. Don't dream it's over. But back to the game. TJ Perenara equaling Julian Savea's 62 tries, so they're going to have a yaya ding dong battle all season. Yeah,
they are, because I keep forgetting that Julian Savea is back in the fold with Moana, playing great rugby at second 5. He should have been there years ago.
He is, buddy. He's really good. I was just going to say there was one thing about TJ Perenara popping up in the right place for that second try. He scored 2 tries. In the second try, we had a scenario where Kini Naholo gets the ball. And there were 5 Chiefs. I got that wrong. There were 4 Chiefs trying to tackle one guy. And then, so TJ gets the ball eventually, popped up by Josh Morby. Is he the best person at popping the ball up from the ground? Great, a great support player as well, Morby. Really amazing support player. But what I noticed is like everyone going panic stations for Naholo. You can't afford to do that because if 4 people go over to one guy and he managed to just hook the ball back inside, you're fucked. And that's what happened. And it was like looking at a Michelangelo tableau, with bodies and, it was strewn everywhere, or even Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, there's men all over the place. And what you could see was TJ, he got the ball and he thought he was going to get smashed, but no, Narawa went for the guy beside him. And then Wallace Satiti's coming over and he trips over Damien McKenzie's foot. And so TJ went,
I'll just keep running.
Yeah, So there were a few moments like that, but if you were brutally honest and you watched the, the territorial dominance, it's the Canes, right?
No, I think in the first half they had 80% of the territory, the Canes, and that's why the scoreline didn't really reflect that, and the Chiefs were just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. It didn't help. They got 10 in the bin in the first half as well, so they were down to 14 men. So they did pretty well in the first half, the Chiefs, but then in the end, Hurricanes too good. We get a lot of criticism at the ACC for not giving the Hurricanes enough credit. People say that we just pile on the Crusaders and backing the Chiefs. Obviously, we're Chiefs fans, so we're always going to do that. Yeah, and people love the pile-on. The Crusaders pile-on's a must. And look, the Hurricanes, they are a good team. They are a very good team, and like I said to you, I'm going to say it, it's theirs to lose, this championship.
Well, if you've been following the Champagne Rugby podcast, I'm sure you have, G Lane.
I have.
You would have noticed that I've picked the Hurricanes from day one, week one.
Day one?
Well, they went over and I know they played the Western Weakness, but hear me out. They put out sort of a team of, half and half, full strength. It was like a half-strength team. And Mid-strength. But it was just, they were so, of all the teams doing their drills and they're going through the phases, they were the best by miles. They're so crisp. So they reminded me of France. You know, when France they crank it up high octane and the backs and forwards are just like boom, boom, boom. That's what the Hurricanes have got.
What's different from last year then?
Wow, shit. Different coach, Clark Laidlaw, the Scotsman. He's got them going well. I think there's just a maturing of players as well. I think Tyrell Lomax now is he's an established All Black tight head prop. And Asafo Moore's playing he's a man possessed. I thought he was the best player on the park.
Absolute wrecking ball, as you described him.
Absolute, yeah, he is. Miley Cyrus could actually go and do a remix just with Asafo Moore highlights. Could we actually do that? Maybe.
Coming like a wrecking ball. Yeah, we probably could actually, because he is this one big ball and he's quick. He's good at the breakdown. He's good on the wing. He's good on the human centipede, and he's a good hooker. Has he got the two? Has he got the two? All Black two?
If you had to pick an All Black team now, and you said, "Oh well, Cody is injured, so we need to pick a hooker," then Asaf was definitely in your top two, right?
Yeah, you got Takiaho probably.
Yeah, I think he probably gets in.
There's a couple of wrecking balls in themselves, and Takiaho and Amur. Unbelievable,
isn't it? Almoa, he scored a try at the end where nobody really wanted to tackle him, and it did look like, in the in the under 12s, and there's a big kid in the other team, and all the parents go, "What's he doing in this grade?
Where's his red socks?"
Yeah,
that's the dispensation on the North Shore, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
they make you wear red socks
for an overweight player.
Yeah.
But I was looking at them all sort of drag. It was another Michelangelo tableau. That was definitely like a Sistine Chapel one where he's like, and if you look at everybody. Nobody was really keen. It didn't seem like it.
Yeah.
But also when someone's a big wrecking ball like that, it's hard to work out where to tackle. And the answer is bootlaces. Because you're going to get fended the fuck off.
Yeah. Well,
if you go high.
You couldn't have gone bootlaces there because he was too close to the line. He'd just dive over and score it, wouldn't he?
No, he had a bit of
work to do.
He got a head of steam up though. Holy shit. That's the problem. He arrives, he comes quicker than you think, which has happened to all of us.
And it's easier said than done, saying round the bootlaces, when you've got a couple of tree trunks that you grab one lace, out it comes. You can't just hold on to one.
Oh, actually, I should add that we are full of shit. So
bootlaces.
We've got no idea what we're talking about.
I don't think I've ever
seems like a good idea. Tackle them around the bootlaces.
I don't reckon I've tackled anyone around the bootlaces. I don't reckon I can potentially do it, wrap it up without getting a kick in the face.
Do they have laces anymore? Have they got
the Velcro?
The Velcro
or is it the dial? Like, they click it up.
They've got those sock things, eh? Like, have you ever tried putting on those modern boots? Like, Ronaldo wore them first. They're like
the ankle sock boots.
Ankle sock boots. Fuck, they're hard. Like, that's a full workout for me. So, but by the time I've put those boots on,
you're in the physio. You're in the physio table.
Exactly, straight away. Game over. No need to play. That's like doing hot yoga for me, putting on those sock boots. It is.
And you just touched on the Crusaders. Heartbreak in Sydney against the Waratahs.
Yes. That was a Golden Point game. Shit, I thought the Crusaders had won it. Christian Leo Willie off the bench. Jeez, it's good to see him back. What a player, the choir boy from Massey, West Auckland. He's a really good player at this level, and I wonder whether Razor might just go, actually, I like a bit of Leo Willie.
Yeah, well, he's familiar with a bit of Leo Willie, isn't he?
Yeah, he does.
But I didn't watch the full game. I watched the first 20 minutes of that, and I saw Severed Peace dot down twice, once within the first 3 minutes. Classic Crusaders.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be a hiding. This is going to be a hiding. Went to bed, woke up, lost.
Yeah.
43-40 in an absolute thriller in Golden Point.
Yeah, it was a big old I guess it wasn't necessarily a ding dong, but at the end the Crusaders scored what felt like a match winning try, 78th minute or something like that, maybe, and then the Tars got back down the other end, kicked the penalty like in the dying moments, and that by the same guy, what's his name? Will Harrison.
Yeah.
And then he was the one who got the droppy in Golden Point. Oh, Will Harrison. Don't know who he is, but you know that he just looks like one of those generic white Aussie rugby players. You know, like he's probably from a very good family, from a banking family.
Absolutely. It was dad's probably. Isn't there another Justin Harrison's probably? Is it his dad?
His dad works for Macquarie or some shit like that.
Definitely does. And the Highlanders. Did they play on the weekend? Didn't they lose to the?
They lost to the Rebels.
Yeah.
And if you go back and look at that one, it's a shame because there was just moments that they would like to have back, the Highlanders. That was probably one that they needed to stay in touch. But they're still up there.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
I can't believe that the Rebels are in the top four. That's what's blown my mind away. That they've snuck up into that top four. A team that had like $20 to their bank account at the start of the year, insolvent, and they're now in the top four of Super Rugby Pacific.
Exactly. It's incredible. But when you watch the Highlanders play, I was going to say, Folau Fakatava, he's just the heart and soul of that team. He looks like he's doing everything, you know. It's like one of those NBA teams that just give it to that guy, you know, Ja Morant or whatever, you know, like do something.
Yeah.
But the Highlanders need to find other people to help out.
Yeah, well, they've based their entire team around halfbacks for the last 10 years, haven't they? With Aaron Smith, and now it's Fakatava. But some action in the weekend, some more heartbreak for the Chiefs. Manoa over the Blues in the Opiki final.
Yeah, I watched that one on TikTok, actually. A bit of a first for Sky Sport.
Oh, yeah, on TikTok.
World first TikTok rugby game, and it was live streamed. I looked up in the corner, and it said that the amount of viewers was 800 or 900.
Yep.
But then the amount of likes was 171,000. So there's some people just like TikToking, like thumb injuries around the country. Just like ding, 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 ding.
TikTok's weird for me because the kind of stats are quite overinflated for some reason on TikTok. It's like, oh, we got 500 million views on that. It's like, it was 4 seconds long and it was you doing a fart. Like, what?
Yeah.
How's that
and now
work?
I'm famous. And
now I sell my content elsewhere because of that $1 billion fart.
It was really good, the TikTok broadcast, and I've got to say, Michaela Blyde, give her own show. Obviously, Sheree Kaka, she's amazing talent as well. Portia Woodman, they had all these. Kendra Coxedge was commentating alongside Jeff McTainch on the TikTok stream.
Did they have a different commentary team on TikTok?
Yeah.
So it was a totally different broadcast.
Yeah, they're doing alternative commentary, G Lane. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Fuck those guys.
Well, okay.
No, I don't. No, all of them. No, I wouldn't.
But the thing is, do you know?
No, good on them.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
But they're lucky that rugby can work as a vertical portrait mode sport.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you could do it with football. You need to see more of the pitch. Whereas with rugby, there is the defensive line or whatever, the offside line, advantage line, and so it
moves in that. It
moves like that in portrait. So it's actually not so bad. But it's just when there's kick tennis, it gets a little bit like whoa.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, when you're kicking, it's. I mean, look, I'm a big fan of. I think all sports should have multiple channels that you can watch. multiple commentaries on multiple platforms. Given it's digital first now, it doesn't really cost that much to how many times you divide it up. It's that the cost comes when you have to take the entire commentary team to the ground, fly them around the country, whatever. So I think it's a great idea. I think we should have 4 or 5 different commentary teams for every game.
Well,
do a fan one. Do one where people are so drunk they can hardly talk. Your choice to go and listen to it or not. You just press the button. Boom, done. Have a fan radio, have an alternative.
There is something called a spork, isn't it? Where they have fan commentary.
But sometimes it can get a bit punishing though. A little bit of super fan commentary. I mean, people have accused us of being super fan commentary.
We got some feedback on the text line 3236 of that as well at the weekend. It was to be honest, that Hurricanes game, I'm kind of happy that there's another team hogging the headlines. I think the last thing that the Chiefs need after the heartbreak of last season, speaking of games that you don't want to rewatch,
the final.
That final from last season, I think it's better that the Hurricanes have all of that.
Yep.
All the attention's on you. Everybody's watching you and video analysing you, and we are still working out who our best 15 is, which is good. I think we kind of, it's a work in progress.
Right, and going back to that the All-Picky final, what was the scheduling? Why did they put it on at the same time as the Warriors? Surely they could have just moved it an hour earlier.
Yeah, I don't know.
2:30?
Yeah.
2:30 or even after. I mean, you couldn't go afterwards. I suppose you had the Chiefs Hurricanes. It seemed a bit weird to me. They said that was the only time that the Eden Park was available. So, really? What else was there? What else was at Eden Park? Anyway, the Blues took it out eventually, 24-18, and broke Chiefs Manawa hearts again. We're getting used to it now, aren't we?
Yeah, that happened last season as well. And so even though, look, I don't really want to talk about the final. It was pretty gutting. But I will say the Blues, when they had the ball, you know when the team's got the ball in the last 20 and you can see that they're the ones who've just got their tail up.
Yeah. And
they were that team. So you just, it was for the Chiefs to win it, they had to hang on just cling on. And is it that movie Cliffhanger, with Sylvester Stallone? It was pretty much that. They probably should have just kicked the ball out a lot and just hoped that the game and the clock wound down. You've got to learn how to
gobble clock.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
right.
Thanks.
Right. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the front row. Rightio, back. Welcome back. The front row now. Number 1 on the front row, James McOnie. Name a bolter for the ABs this season.
Well, it's always tempting to choose someone like Ruben Love, but he's been talked about so much. Can you be a bolter when everyone's talking about you?
No, I think people are going to go, who?
Yeah, that's right. Dallas McLeod, remember, he was a bolter last year, right?
Yep.
Everyone went, eh? So I'm going Isaiah Walker-Leawere. The big old power lock for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, that would be a bolter. You're right.
I think there's something there in the way he plays, physical, tough, good ball carrier. I think you need good ball carriers now. You can't just go with guys who are okay in that department. So I think it would be quite nice for one of our locks to be able to carry.
I'm going to go for the new Aaron Hopper, Wallace Satiti.
Shit, he's good.
Yeah, the young number 8 for the Chiefs. He's forced Luke Jacobson to the side of the scrum. That's how well he's playing.
Yeah, and he's brought something, again, a great ball carrier, but he's he's an incredible defender as well. Young. Shit, he's young. He was in the under-20s last year, I think.
And he's a big unit and strong. Every time he gets the ball, he gets over the advantage line every time.
Yeah.
So, that's my bolter.
There's major Liam Messam vibes about him, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, in terms of just being that good on his feet. And
do they still do the intern program at the end of the year tour? Remember they took Jordie Savea when he was like a 19-year-old on the Northern Tour? Do they still do that? Because that could be...
It would be perfect for him.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
He looks like... That's the thing. He's not... He isn't massive. He's quite broad. But then when you think about the fact that Artie's been an incredible number 8, not being a big human, then maybe that is... there could be a way for Wallace. I'd like that.
Big Wally. Number 2 on the front row, going to the hooker. How bad's swearing at the moment?
Oh, it's fucking appalling.
It
Shit.
is. The hot mics on field.
Yep. And you know what? The classic thing is the Chiefs have got this documentary crew with them. Not that I'm bitter they didn't choose me, but hey, fine, whatever. Find some Australians who are going to film you. Anyway, they mic'd their players up and they released it, and every second word is fuck. I mean, and which it often is if you've ever played rugby.
Yeah.
It's like the only time you don't say fuck is when you talk to the ref and you start going sir and acting like a real suck ass.
And this is not a gender thing either. I heard some hot mic situations on that Upiki final, and there was some foul mouths in there as well. So it's a rugby thing. I suppose it's a contact physical sport where you're smashing people.
Yeah. But as the ACC, we're actually really disappointed to see that you guys have stooped so low and you've joined us in the gutter. I mean, it's not right. Like, you should be better than that, and just be better. Do better.
Just be better. And also, we're sick of apologising on behalf of the players. When you hear that hot mic, we're legally obliged to have to apologise on behalf of the players.
It's fucking annoying.
It is fucking annoying.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Anyway, so 3 on the front row, rugby referee shortage.
Yes, so this is something I saw on Facebook G Lane on the Marty Banks fan page. Have you ever seen that one? The Legend of Marty Banks. Yes. And it was from the Otago Rugby Union saying there's a referee shortage. The CEO of Otago stepped in, grabbed the whistle and reffed a few games at the weekend. He's a big unit too, actually. He would have been blowing. And so I've heard this around the traps as well. So I wonder, with the just general decline that rugby's facing in other areas, obviously people don't want to go out every Saturday and get abused by some randoms in gumboots. It's like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, well, my son is playing J2 this year, and we require, each team has to provide a referee for your home games. And our team doesn't have one yet, and there's been a bit of pressure on me to be the referee because few of the dads like, you'll be fine, you just talk your way through it. And I was like I'm overcommitted in the weekends. And I brought it up with my son, Ralph. I said, hey, I've been approached to be the referee. And he looked at me and went, please don't. Please don't be a referee.
No, we don't want it. It's going to turn into your Netflix special, some fucking stand-up thing, isn't it?
He goes, please don't. I was like, why? He goes, 1, you'll get super angry, especially when people talk back to you.
Oh, yeah,
like you do at home. I was like, yeah, of course I will. And plus, you'll just be embarrassing. And I was like, okay, fine, I won't be your
Those
referee.
are 2 good reasons, Ralph.
Yeah.
I absolutely support Ralph on this one. You will be super embarrassing, but it's more that I feel that, I don't know, just a G Lane ref game would just become a bit of a G Lane show. That's my main concern.
I'd start commentating it.
Yeah, you would.
I'll go, oh, Gooshka!
That's a gooch rattler!
See, I'd start doing shit like that.
Don't you dare talk about my son's gooch.
Well, he rattled it. I think I'd get more fired up with the sideline because I can't stand the parents and everyone who get stuck into the ref at the age of like 11, 12-year-olds where everyone's volunteering. And I know that it gets drilled in, like there's a big sign whenever you go to any of the games that the kids aren't professionals, everyone's volunteers, this is not a World Cup. But it may as well say everyone's professional, the ref's being paid, it's a World Cup with a lot of parents, particularly on the North Shore where you go up, further up the bays you go, up to Mairangi Bay, East Coast bays, and you get the South African parents who's fresh off the boat.
Can I mention just one quick story about being a coach for the McLean's 5As, and our big grudge match was always against Grammar.
Yeah.
And so the Grammar 5As were coached by Ben Skeen, quite a good referee. An international referee, but definitely a well-known referee. He's now principal of your old school, St Paul's Collegiate in Hamilton. Yeah. And so no referee turned up, so they said, we'll take a half each. And we thought, this is awesome. You do the second half because we've got Ben Skeen, he's a top referee. We'll do the first half, so my mate, Buck, Johnny Rogers, he reffed the first half, and he's pretty fair. Buck, he's a bit like yourself, he doesn't take too much shit, and if someone starts whinging, he'll have a go. But anyway, first half done. Second half, we're waiting for Ben Skeen going, this is really good for the kids to be reffed by a top ref. He sends out the gap year student from England. And, of course, he absolutely screwed us. And I was like, nice work, Ben Skeen. Your sidestep's not bad, is it? Just dodging the fact that you could have actually given a perfectly one half, 35 minutes at schoolboy level of reffing. And instead, it's like, send out the gap year student. And, of course, under strict instructions to everything goes Grammar's way. Everything.
Well, he has to live at the school, doesn't he?
He
has to. He's got no choice.
Yeah, it's right. If he wants to get food from Tibbs' house or wherever, it's like, you better make sure that you know what has to happen. I don't think I need to say any more. It would just be like winks and nods.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Well done. Well done.
Well done.
Okay, this week's TAB Game Day Good Punt for the Champagne Rugby. We've got the $100 bonus bet. We've gone full four-way missionary this week, James. We've gone for the favourites. We've gone for the Hurricanes over the Drua. It's in Fiji, but I just don't think they've got the firepower, even if in Fiji, to upset the
Hurricanes just on a roll, aren't they? Yeah, I agree with that.
Reds over the Highlanders. It's in Brisbane. That's another away game for the Highlanders. So they've stayed in Aussie. Blues over the Brumbies. This is probably an interesting one because the Brumbies aren't a bad team.
Where's that? At Eden Park?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going Blues.
Yeah, and Crusaders over the Western Weakness.
Absolutely backlash game. It's going to be a big score.
So that's the four-leg multi. It's not paying much. It's only paying $1.60.
Well, can we make the Crusaders one by 20 plus?
Oh, too late. I've done it. Okay. I've done the four-legged. I was
going to say 30 plus, actually.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's our Game Day Good Punt. Head to the TAB website, tab.co.nz, or download the TAB app to check out all the rugby promos and the boosted odds markets, particularly the day before, on the day when the power plays come out. It's got some real juicy odds in there. That's where I've done most of my work in those power plays, actually.
G Lane, before we wrap this thing up, I've just got one question for you that I've actually, I don't know whether I've asked you this before, but after the final at Lord's, what did you do that night?
I tried to drink through it, and I couldn't do it.
Where were you?
We went down the road to the Warrington Tavern in St John's Wood.
Yeah.
And sat there and tried to drown my sorrows. And then I looked over at the two mates I was with, and we were like, this sucks. Let's go home. And we were staying in the centre of town, and we just went home. That was it.
That is so sad.
I've got a really sad photo of them, the two mates I was with, both in beige, in a black cab, asleep, just on the way home to the hotel.
Were there English fans in the pub celebrating as well?
Yeah, it was nauseating.
Oh, yeah.
But they were trying to be really good about it. They were real kind of not English, in an English kind of way. They were kind of simple, which made it worse.
Yeah, they go, we don't deserve that. We never deserve that.
Yeah, they were apologising. Sorry,
never.
mate.
Not in a million years.
Mate. But what really ground our gears was depressing. But then waking up in the morning and switching on the TV, and Piers Morgan was hosting Breakfast TV.
Oh, fuck, yes.
And they were all in England one-day shirts. And the whole show was dedicated to the final, and they had live crosses to the players, to the Lords, to everything else. And we were like, oh, I can't fucking deal with this.
I
and
know.
we went to the offie, bought a box of beer, and went down to Green Park and just drank a box of beer in Green Park, waited for our flight that night because we didn't want to interact with anyone, and got on the plane and spent the next 27 hours getting home. It was pretty depressing.
That is a really depressing way to end the podcast. We would try and do that every week now, I think.
Hey, but this weekend, couple of games this weekend. Friday night, Drua versus the Canes. But the big one the ACC will be covering on Sky Sport 9 iHeart Radio is the Blues Brumbies, 7 p.m. on Saturday. So join us for that. I believe it's Matty Ward and Mania bringing you that game. So Matty Ward, a massive Blues fan, and bringing back the Matty and Mania combo.
Nice.